Why are we seeing more down pressure? I think I know. And what is that? Well, first of all, if you look at the U.S. market today, not looking so good, right? And the reason why is because we have a FOMC meeting coming up. In fact, tomorrow. Today, the Board of Governors and Fed Chair Powell are all talking. Today is kind of like the talk day. And tomorrow is when we hear their decision, mostly Powell's decision. He'll come out the press conference, and then the reporters will grill him on next steps. But before that, he will release a press release basically stating what he's feeling, right? We haven't had a heated FOMC meeting for a very long time. And when I say heated, I mean by the fact that, the past 6 of them, I would say, have been nothing burgers, and people kind of knew what was going to be said. I would say the only one that was a surprise, maybe 2 FOMC meetings ago, or maybe the last one, was when he announced that there was going to be 3 rate cuts coming up. I think that I'll give him that. That was a surprise, but it was a good surprise. Markets started soaring, right? But now we got all this bad data about inflation going back up and the economy going back down. What is he going to do? Is he going to change his tune and still and say, oh, well, we're not going to have 3 anymore. We're going to have 2 or 1, or maybe we're not going to have any this year. If he comes out and hints that there's no more rate cuts this year, that would be absolutely horrendous. That would be horrendous. But he can just say nothing again and just say, well, it's a wait and see moment. It's too early for us to make a decision at this time. We have to wait until June. And then maybe we could think about cutting. Something like that would be absolutely fine. That'd be normal. But I think people are very worried about what he may say, that Powell may screw up the recovery and screw up this, the rest of this year, really. So I think this is the biggest problem right now. And I've said this since last week. Ever since we got those bad data about GDP and inflation, it has put markets in a turmoil, and people don't know what to do, especially Wall Street people. I shouldn't say people in general, because Bitcoiners know what to do. But Wall Street and traders, they don't know what to do because they're trying to wait. Everyone on Wall Street, I feel like, is just guessing. No one really knows. Everyone is so reactive. No one is... No one... it just seems like everyone's reactive. Let's just put it that way, okay? They're not proactive. If you're proactive, you would be in Bitcoin already, right? But it seems like everyone on Wall Street is just reactive and just always reacting to new news. And they're not really having like a 5-year plan or a 10-year plan. Because if you have a 5 or 10-year plan, you know what? It would just involve Bitcoin. Kind of like what MicroStrategy, their plan is, okay? And luckily, we're starting to see more and more companies come up with that plan, right? They're coming to the same conclusion. We need more Bitcoin. NASDAQ is listing Alliance Resource, which is a $2.8 billion coal mining company, and they have 425 Bitcoin on their balance sheet, right? Out of the blue. A lot of companies are starting to realize, hey, Bitcoin is a real thing. We need to put it in our treasury, right? I just covered this a few days ago. You have a meat and seafood company, Beck and Bolo. They're going to accept Bitcoin. They're going to convert 20% of their assets into Bitcoin, right? So luckily, we do have a lot of people that truly understand, not just Wall Street traders. We're talking about some big publicly traded companies. They understand. They're looking at Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy, who continues to buy more and more Bitcoin with every single cent they have. They're looking at this and they're like, he's onto something. He's right. Bitcoin is the greatest store of value. MicroStrategy stock has gone up 900% since they adopted their Bitcoin strategy. No one else could pretty much say that. Okay, so luckily we do have people in charge and companies and countries and long-term holders that understand the concept, okay, to be proactive, to plan, to hold long-term, and not always focus on short-term, okay? Even though I know that's hard, right? It's hard. I know. You wake up, you look at your portfolio, it's down. No one likes that. No one likes to see their portfolio go down. I understand that, but don't let it discourage you, okay? Keep on going. Focus on the future. Focus on the gains that will be coming to you, okay? And I've said this before. I've said this at 10,000. I said this at 30,000, and no one wanted to listen to it, right? I'm saying it again at 60,000, okay? Even though I shouldn't need to say it at 60,000, but I'm going to say it again because by the end of this year, we will be much higher. By the end of this year, we could be at 100,000, 125,000, and then most of you guys would have forgotten this very small and stagnant period around 60,000, right? That's what I truly believe. And I don't want to see you guys get FUD in your head and exit the market because of it. I think most of you guys have forgotten, because even me, okay, since 2023, since like the end of 2023 till now, we had one of the greatest runs in Bitcoin history. In fact, I'm just going to eyeball it here. I think we just had the greatest 7 months in Bitcoin history. If you go all the way back to 2013, we never had 7 months of green. Even in 2020, we only had 6 months. And if you look, basically, yeah. Prior to what we just had, we never had 7 months of green, okay? So look at September, October, November, December, and then January, February, and March. And finally, in April, we're having a red month. So even if you didn't believe in any of the things I just said about Bitcoin being the future and being adopted and why we all need to hold for future gains, I mean, if you discount all that, you just look at this. Well, it makes sense that Bitcoin would take a breather, right? Even if you discounted the Fed and the decision and everything, there's no way anything goes up forever infinitely without taking a breather. And we just had the greatest run Bitcoin has ever seen in its lifetime. We never had, again, I'm trying to be careful here. I'm trying to look. But I don't see, outside of what the run we just had, we never had 7 consecutive green months, ever. So for us to make an 8th month, that's just being greedy. That's just being unreasonable. There's no way you can expect Bitcoin to go 8, 9, 10, 12, 24 months of green. There needs to be a pullback and consolidation at some point. And we're having that in April, and that's okay, because look at how far we have come. From September till now, Bitcoin have more than doubled its value. We were talking about 25,000 back in September, and we are sitting above 60,000 now, right? So, again, don't be discouraged. Bitcoin cannot go up linearly forever to the moon. There will be pullback times.